Why do we feel an instant connection with some people within just a few moments of meeting them? And why do others remain strangers to us, even after years of knowing them? Why do some relationships burn with warmth, passion, and life while others fade away before they ever have a chance to grow? Astrology has long suggested that one of the answers may lie in the four classical elements: fire, earth, air, and water. Today, we begin with fire. In astrology, the fire element is expressed through three zodiac signs: Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. But fire is much more than a zodiac sign. It is the force of life itself, a spark that inspires us to act, to create, to explore, and to move forward. People with a strong fire influence rarely hesitate for long. They are drawn to action rather than waiting, to challenge rather than comfort, to possibility rather than certainty. They are energized by new experiences, new horizons, and the excitement of discovering what lies beyond the familiar. Fire thrives on movement, on passion, on inspiration. It has the power to ignite ideas, to motivate others, and to turn dreams into reality. But every flame has two sides. The same fire that brings warmth can also burn. The same courage that inspires great achievements can sometimes lead to impatience, impulsiveness, or unnecessary conflict. And that is precisely why fire does not burn with the same intensity in every relationship. What happens when two fire personalities meet? At first, it often feels like a perfect match. They recognize something familiar in one another. A shared enthusiasm, a shared courage, a shared desire to move forward. Together they inspire each other. They encourage one another to dream bigger, to take risks and to embrace new challenges. Life rarely feels dull when two fire personalities are together. Their energy is contagious. Their passion is unmistakable. But every great strength has its shadow. Two flames do not always create warmth. Sometimes they create a wildfire. Both may want to lead. Both may be determined to prove their point. And neither finds it easy to step back first. Small disagreements can quickly become intense. Not because they care less, but because they both care so deeply. Yet when mutual respect replaces competition, something remarkable happens. Instead of trying to outshine one another, they begin to shine together. When that balance is found, the relationship can become one of the most inspiring, dynamic, and powerful partnerships among all four elements. What happens when fire meets earth? At first glance, they may seem too different to truly understand one another. Fire moves quickly. It trusts instinct. It follows impulse and inspiration. Earth, on the other hand, moves slowly. It is careful, stable and focused on security. To fire earth can sometimes feel too slow, too cautious, too resistant to change. To earth, fire may seem unpredictable, impulsive, even reckless at times. And because of this difference, misunderstandings can easily arise. One wants to move forward immediately. The other needs time to think. One trusts momentum. The other trusts stability. And yet, this is not a conflict without meaning. Because when respect begins to grow between them, something powerful emerges. Earth gives fire something it often lacks: grounding, direction, structure. And fire gives earth something it may hesitate to embrace: movement, energy, and transformation. Together they can turn vision into reality. Not just dreams, but something built to last. When fire meets air, there is often an immediate connection. Air brings ideas, communication and mental clarity. Fire brings energy, direction and action. Air can ignite fire with just a single thought, and fire can transform that thought into something real. Together they move quickly, they think quickly, they create quickly. Life between them often feels dynamic, exciting, and full of possibility. Conversations flow easily, ideas multiply, plans form almost instantly, but there is a challenge hidden within this speed. When there are too many ideas and not enough grounding, things can become scattered, unfinished, dispersed. Fire may want to act immediately. Air may want to explore even more possibilities. And without balance, direction can be lost. But when harmony is found, this combination becomes one of the most creative forces among all the elements. A meeting of inspiration and movement, of thought and action. Not all connections are easy. When fire meets water, the emotional intensity becomes undeniable. Water feels deeply, quietly, intuitively. Fire expresses directly, quickly, sometimes too intensely. The water fire can feel overwhelming, too sharp, too fast, too direct. To fire water can feel difficult to understand, too sensitive, too emotionally complex. And yet this is often one of the most transformative relationships. Because when both begin to understand each other, something deeper emerges. Water brings emotional depth, the ability to feel what is unspoken. Fire brings courage, movement, and the strength to act. They challenge each other, and they change each other. Fire, earth, air, water. These are not just symbolic forces. They are different ways of being human, different ways of experiencing life, and every person carries a unique combination of them. What does all of this mean in practical terms? If we look at the elements alone, fire tends to connect most easily with other fire signs and with the air. In these relationships, there is usually no shortage of energy, inspiration, and a shared desire to move forward. Both partners tend to encourage each other to grow, to act. With earth, relationships often require more patience. Differences in pace and in the need for security can easily lead to misunderstandings. But when both sides learn to respect each other's nature, this connection can become deeply stable and long-lasting. The greatest challenges usually arise in fire and water relationships. One partner tends to act spontaneously, while the other experiences emotions very deeply. Such a combination requires maturity, mutual respect, the ability to listen, and emotional awareness. But there is something important to remember. Elements alone do not determine the fate of a relationship. They only indicate a general direction. The true compatibility between two people is revealed through the full natal chart. When we begin to see people through the language of the elements, relationships become easier to understand. Conflicts no longer seem completely random. Different personalities begin to make sense. Each of us expresses life through a unique combination of energies: fire, earth, air, and water. Understanding these elemental patterns is only the beginning. Astrology offers a much deeper map of human nature, one that helps us understand not only others, but ourselves. If you enjoyed this journey into the world of the elements, there is much more to discover. In our upcoming films, we'll explore the other three elements and reveal how they interact with each other in relationships, work, creativity, and everyday life. So, if you don't want to miss the next chapter, subscribe to the channel and join us as we continue exploring the fascinating language of astrology. Until next time.